Taylor here with AgriSpray Drones. Today we're doing a hillside demo and comparison between the DJI Agris T100 and the EAVISION J150. We're going to be doing the exact same settings, same height, same speed, the correct terrain following and radar settings for each drone in the exact same field. We're going to be recording this from the air and out in the tripod. Really what we want to see here is what's the difference between these two drones in terms of how smoothly they follow terrain, battery life on small fields like this, and efficiency. All right, now we're gonna run the 150. So we'll run through our settings real quick. The J150, the EAVISION system, you do your terrain following settings actually in the edit field side, so it actually saves to the field, not just to the drone. So we're just gonna do flat field. We do flat field on basically every field, even slopes like this. Because it doesn't seem to matter on the EA system. Okay, select the field, should be the same field. We'll double check our settings up here in the top right, perception settings, which is radar settings. Our bypass is turned off, just like on the T100. And we'll run a 2-gallon rate. Height of 10 feet. Speed 45.2. We'll turn our bypassing on the way in and out of the field. Route set to 32 feet, just like on the T100. Auto spray off, so it just turns in the corners, or it doesn't spray on the corners. And yeah, that all looks good. Looks almost identical to the T100. Load it up, and we have 18.5 gallons in the tank, just like the T100. Fresh battery. Okay, ready to go. We'll back up and launch. The T100 definitely has a quicker launch, which probably helps with battery life to get up and out to the field a bit faster. Okay, we're starting at the bottom of the hill here. 45 feet per second, 10 feet high is our settings. And right there we are at 40 feet per second at the top of the hill. I mean, it's pretty easy to see right off the bat that the terrain following speed and accuracy on the J150 is quite a bit better than the T100. That's the kind of a hallmark of EAVISION is their terrain following. And whenever EAVISION started operating and making drones, they really made them for specialty crops in mountainous terrain in Southeast Asia. And so to do that, you have to have really, really good terrain following. And that ports over very well to a field like this, where we have small fields, high slopes. There you can see our height is staying very, very close, even as it goes down the hill and up the hill to that 10 feet. We get down to maybe about 8.5 and as high as maybe about 12 at the bottom of the hill. And our speed stays up as well. Looks like flow meter might actually be working on this drone, which is a good thing. If flow meters don't work, if they break for some reason on the EA system, it will bypass it automatically. It'll give you an alert, and you can bypass it manually as well, which is a nice feature because it's really frustrating to have one little component like that shut the whole operation down. So the fact that EA made that bypassable is nice. So you can continue operation and just do basically a manual override. The camera, like I said on the 100, is quite a bit better. We don't have AI image recognition on the EAVISION 150, and the camera feed, the quality of the imagery is better on the T100. And its T100 has active stabilization, meaning if the drone pitches forward, the camera doesn't pitch down, it still looks forward. Whereas on the J150 here, you can see as the drone slows down, the camera pitches up. And then as it speeds up here, whenever it gets into the acceleration, you see the camera starts to pitch down a little bit. You still have gimbal control right here to look up and look down, but it doesn't have active stabilization. You can see at the end there, it does pick up a little bit as it comes down the hill. That's basically to help slowing down. So the J150, whenever it comes into the end of a field, it'll actually pick up about 2 feet in altitude as it slows down to kind of help slowing down a bit faster without eating up as much battery. You can see our radar, it actually is picking up that hill to the right side of it. It kind of slopes up there. It picks up the hill as an obstacle, but we have our bypassing turned off. If you look in the perception settings, just like the T100, bypassing is turned off, which means that if it sees something in front of it, as in an obstacle, then it doesn't necessarily react like an obstacle to go around it. It just goes up and over it, which is what turning bypassing off should actually do on all drones, meaning it won't deviate off of the course. It will just go up and over to clear that obstacle. Like right here in front of it on the screen, you can see we've got the obstacle in front of us is actually a hill, and so it knows that, and so it just goes up the hill. The LiDARs on these drones are also different. The T100 LiDAR is more of a survey grade type LiDAR. It's kind of an omnidirectional survey grade type LiDAR. Doesn't see that far in front of it, but it's really good at picking up objects kind of in all directions around it at near distances. So the T100 actually uses radar as a primary source for terrain following and obstacle avoidance. Looking in the manual, you can actually see this. Whereas the J150 radar is the secondary source. So it has 2 radars, one on the front, one on the back. But the LiDAR is a automotive grade LiDAR. It has a very long range as far as what it can detect in front of it, and a high level of points that it can detect. And so it uses the LiDAR as the primary source for forward obstacle detection and terrain following. We'll check our battery settings here. We'll do 20%, just like we did with the T100. We didn't think the J150 was going to be very good at small fields because it's so big, obviously. But when you have really good terrain following like this, then that helps a lot when you're doing these small fields as far as battery efficiency and covering more acres in one tank load. There's a really steep part right over there. We've flown this field a bunch, so we kind of know where the steep parts are at, and on the other far side over there is really steep. All right, so there we've got our return to home setting just kicked on. Have about 3 gallons left in the tank. We'll back up and let the drone come in. Well, I've got the terrain following turned on the 150, so you can see it actually follows the terrain down the hill as it comes home. You can change this in the settings, of course. All right, let's check. We got 7.3 acres covered. Flight time was about 7 minutes, it says. We have about 3.5 gallons left in the tank. So you can see just that little bit more speed up and down these hills helps a lot in terms of flying off more payload on these small fields with high slopes. And everything on both these drones is exactly the same, including takeoff, battery percentage, flight speed, settings, everything. So having better terrain following definitely helps in these small fields with these big drones where battery life is a concern. All right, we're gonna run a lot more tests with the J150 and the T100 in a lot of different scenarios, and we'll keep you guys tuned. But I think I would run a J150 on a small field like this over a T100. But you guys have the results here for yourself. Let us know if you guys have any questions. Thanks. See ya.